Hey guys, what's up? My name is Asia May and thank you so much for joining me today. If you guys are new here, I talk all things business, personal finance, and entrepreneurship here on my channel. If you're interested in any of that, please go ahead, hit the subscribe button down below as well as a bell notification so you know every time I post new videos every Monday and Thursday. Most importantly, you guys, drum roll. Please go ahead and hit the like button, you guys. It means a lot to help with the YouTube algorithm. YouTube sees that this information is valuable and they want to go ahead and put it in front of a greater audience. So with that note, you guys, let's go on and let's get into the video. Today, as you guys know, this is a part of my Money Monday segment where I interview self-made millionaires and business entrepreneurs alike here on my channel. The whole purpose of the Money Monday segment is really to give you guys different perspectives from different business owners, whether it be in hospitality, whether it be here, what we're about to do today. It doesn't matter what kind of business it is, you guys, because you can learn something from every single person. So with that, you guys, I want to introduce you to our special guest for today on the Money Monday segment. Here we have...
My name is Leslie. I'm one of the owners of Board and Brush, which is a franchise. We've got 2 locations here in the Vegas area. We have got our Las Vegas studio that we're in today, and then we also have a spot down in Henderson as well. So
there we go.
Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to have you on the channel, Leslie.
Of course, yeah, Asia, I'm so excited.
I'm excited today. So you guys, I reached out to Leslie because we've gotten to know each other a little bit just off the camera and everything. But I actually came here to Board and Brush I would say like a month or so ago.
I think so. Yeah.
And today we're going to talk a little bit about her business as well as doing an actual one right here.
Yeah, we're all about, so to give you a little bit of background before we get started on our projects, Board and Brush, as Asia just explained, we're a DIY studio. So it's a similar type of experience to like the paint and wine places. Right. But obviously, as you can see behind us, we've got all wood projects. And I myself am not a very creative or artistic person, believe it or not. So that's why we use stencils. So regardless of the project itself or your artistic ability, the project's gonna look awesome. And our team is really great about kind of walking everybody. As Asia can attest, we walk everybody step by step through everything. So
yeah, and like y'all, I am not an artsy person at all. Like I like paint outside the lines. So the stencils and everything, they make it super easy. But real quick, where can everyone find some information about you guys? For sure, yeah. So we're, of course, on all the social channels. So Instagram, Board and Brush Las Vegas, or Board and Brush Henderson NB, and is all spelled out. So just get to type in. And then we've also got, of course, a Facebook page. Again, Board and Brush Las Vegas and Board and Brush Henderson. There we go. Yeah. So you guys, I'll also leave all the information down below in the description box so you guys can go check her out. If you guys are visiting, if you live here, come by, you guys. You might see me here, who knows? But you'll definitely see Leslie.
I'll be around, yeah. So we've got in-person workshops, of course, but due to COVID and things like that, we also have at-home kits. So if you just want to pull that back, and I'll hold this part. Asia's making today I thought it was very applicable to the season, a touchdown sign since football is back. Shout out to the Raiders winning their first home game this week.
I watched that.
So we've got kind of a variety of things. We of course have open to the public workshops that we're limiting availability just to make sure that we're staying socially distant and things like that in the studio. And then, as we were talking about earlier, we still have at-home kits.
Right.
So you could essentially pick up a kit and make something similar to what we're doing from the comfort of your own home. So
that actually would probably be perfect for like kids' birthday parties or anything like that. Because the show must go on even despite everything going on.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that? Yeah. Well, and especially we've had a lot of parents reach out to us that are doing distance learning at home and looking for some type of creative arts and crafts project that can kill time and keep their kids busy, and so it's been a great step for that as well. So you'll just want to flip that guy over.
Flip it over.
You got it, and then you're gonna pull off the tape the exact same way. So wherever you decide you want that guy.
Okay. So what made you kind of decide, well, can you give us a little bit of a background about like what you were doing before you opened up the location and like kind of how you got your start here?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm originally from Arizona. Grew up in a small town close to Sedona, which was gorgeous. And then after high school, I moved out to Utah, went to Southern Utah University, and got a degree in hospitality, resort, and hotel management.
Okay.
So Vegas was kind of just the natural,
right? Like the
so
segue.
close by. Yeah, exactly. And I got a really great opportunity right out of college, working for a local casino company here, Station Casinos.
Okay.
And I kind of bounced around between a few different positions there. I ended up being in marketing up at Red Rock Casino. And that's where I met my business partner, Amber Young. We were both in marketing there, and she had actually gone to a workshop years ago back in Indiana, where she's from.
Okay.
And she went up to the lady in the workshop and like gave her, she was working at the Cosmopolitan at the time, gave her business card and was like, I want to open one of these in Vegas. And the lady kind of looked at her like she was crazy, because she's a very, you know, excited and enthusiastic person like myself. And anyways, fast forward a couple years, we're both working at Red Rock, and one day we were just kind of talking and like thought about potentially doing our own thing. And so we pull up Board and Brush's website, and lo and behold, it had become a franchise.
Okay.
And so we were like, what the heck, we'll just fill out the application. It's not like anything's gonna happen. And one thing led to another, and then here we are 3 years later with 2 studios and just rocking and roll, surviving a pandemic one day at a time.
Yeah. So how has it been? Because first of all, when did you guys open up your first store location?
Yeah, so our Las Vegas studio was our first one. We opened it up in February of 2018.
Okay.
And it was really in Vegas the first of its kind. I know since we opened, there have been a few things that have, you know, similar business models that have opened up around us, but we were kind of first to market, which was both intimidating because you don't know if it's going to be successful,
right.
But it was also really exciting because we knew it was something that we really loved and we really enjoyed, and obviously had seen a lot of success in kind of the Midwest and the East Coast. And so we thought, you know, it's definitely something that Vegas needs, especially with locals. We're always looking for something, you know, different and fun to do that's not going to the strip or, you know, stuff like that.
Hiking in 100-degree weather.
Exactly. So, we were really excited. We opened our first one in February of 2018 and then loved it so much that we thought we'd also bring it down to Henderson and opened that one a year later in March of 2019.
Okay,
So,
very nice.
Yeah.
So how has it been with kind of adjusting with the whole pandemic? Because obviously this is a public place where people come, you congregate, and you make these beautiful creations, right?
Yeah.
So how has it been for you guys with keeping up with all of that and like strategizing around it?
Yeah, it's definitely been tough, as I'm sure every business owner can attest to. I think it's just looking for different ways to do what you're good at and what you know the business model is. But also being safe about it and, you know, coming up with creative ways. So when we closed down in March, and of course we're just struggling with how tough it is, and we want to do what's right for our customers and employees. We did a lot of curbside pickup stuff. So unfortunately couldn't have people in the studio to make stuff, but we did, while we were kind of working on the at-home kit model, we did curbside pickup and free delivery. So one thing that probably honestly saved our business was graduation signs for all of the seniors.
Okay.
So we felt bad. Actually, a couple of our employees were both seniors this last year, and so we almost started with the idea of just we wanted to do something for them, you know, and celebrate them because they weren't having your typical graduation.
I can attest to that.
Exactly. And it caught on like hotcakes. So we just started I drove all around Vegas this summer because we did free home delivery for those people who wanted to stay in their homes and didn't even feel comfortable doing curbside pickup. Right. And that was it. We just were in here slaving away during the most of the shutdown, and then we kind of opened up just slowly, right, with only allowing 2 people per table, and now we're up to 4 people, and still just, of course, we sanitize everything between workshops. From our aprons that we wear to all of the tools, paint bottles, things like that. We try to seat people with the groups that they registered for to make sure that everyone's just staying as safe as possible, but still getting to get out and have a night with friends and have a glass of wine.
Yeah. They also, can you speak a bit about, because when I came, it was the brunch, the muffins and mimosas.
Yeah.
What are the different events?
Absolutely, yeah. So most of our workshops are, our most popular is called our Pick Your Project workshop. And the process for all of our projects is pretty similar. So it's kind of fun because everybody can choose something different, unlike the paint and wine places where you're all painting a bowl of fruit or something like that. Somebody can be making something for their kitchen and their bathroom and all in the same workshop, which is a lot of fun. So we like to keep it, fresh and different and exciting, and we do things like Asia got to come to. We do our Muffins and Mimosas workshop where we do free bottomless mimosas and muffins. We do things like trivia night or bingo or all sorts of fun things to spice it up and make a workshop even more exciting than it normally is. So
there you go. How do you guys host? Yeah, I can see the calendar, and I'll probably take an image of it for you guys so you can see. But they have all of their workshops here on this board right here. So I'll flash something up for you guys. But so do you hold something like every day or like every couple of days?
Yeah, I would say. Yep. So you're just gonna go for it. Sorry. You'll just dip that in, kind of wipe off the extra. Remember, we want very little paint.
Oh yeah, I did too much last time.
There you go.
I was going crazy.
And then just straight up and down with your paintbrush.
Okay. There we go.
Just like that.
Professional.
Easy stuff. We've even had, our workshops are a lot of fun. We were kind of talking about kids doing, social distancing or distance learning and things like that. We'll even do family-friendly workshops. We have workshops probably 4 or 5 days a week as we get into our holidays are the busy season for us. So of course everyone makes Christmas decorations or Halloween signs or things like that, or as gifts and presents. They make awesome gifts and presents. So
get like a sign for Santa.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Christmas countdown and all that good stuff. It's fun, I think, because everything has your own flavor to it, right?
Yeah.
So, my house probably looks much different than your house, and you can make your sign accordingly, right? Depending on your style, what color scheme you have going on in your living room or your bathroom, things like that. It's always fun to see different people's creativity.
Right. So, like that. Do you get a lot more like families, or is it like parties of people, or what's like your target demographic and how do you really reach them? Yeah,
I would say our target demographic is women ages 25 to 55. I know when we're looking at our different marketing campaigns and things like that, that's usually what we range from. But honestly, it's great for everyone. So of course we kind of market to the girls' night out, mom's night out, things like that. But you'd be surprised. We always, of course, have the boyfriends or the husbands, whoever that's get drugged here on a date night. Right. And I always kind of, like bump their elbow throughout the thing, like, are we having fun yet? Are we having fun yet? And you'd be surprised by the end of the night, these guys are more in love with their project than the wife or girlfriend or whoever it was that they came with. So I think it gives them a little bit more masculinity because they get to sand wood and stain it and get their hands a little bit dirty. So it's a lot of fun. So do you reach most of your audience on Instagram, or do you do Facebook ads, or? Yeah, I would say Board and Brush as a franchise really exploded by marketing solely on social media. And so we've kind of stuck to that market just because, if it's working, don't fix it. Right. So I would say primarily we market via Instagram and Facebook. Of course we do, different things on Yelp or Google or things like that to try to do, different SEO optimizations and whatnot. Right. But other than that, it's good old social media marketing. There you go. It's the way of the future. It's where it's at these days, for sure. Definitely. Yeah. Trying to keep up with the algorithm as often as it changes. It's hard work, you guys, which I'm quickly learning with trying to do everything with the new boutique that I'm opening up. It's online. Yeah. And it's just learning all about Instagram and Facebook. Facebook is hard. It's tough. Facebook is difficult. It's definitely tricky. Well, and it's interesting too because we opened our first studio in February 2018. Right. And I would say we definitely pushed Facebook more than Instagram in our early stages. Right. And we saw a lot of success, things were looking really good. And then we come around for the second studio thinking we can just do the exact same thing we did for the first time. Right. But even in that short year's time, the algorithm and everything had changed so much that we kind of had to get creative and think all over again about, okay, maybe, we need to switch a little bit more to Instagram because that's, kind of taken off more so than it used to and stuff like that. So it's definitely, and I think that's one thing, I'm a huge podcast fan.
Yeah.
So I'm all about, probably one of my favorite podcasts is Rachel Hollis's Rise, or it used to be Rachel Hollis's Rise podcast.
Okay.
And she always talks about, businesses and how they need to continually adapt and change the way that they're strategizing and things like that. Especially in a pandemic. She was like, with her business specifically, she was like, we pivoted one week and then the next week we'd have to pivot another direction. And and that's so true. I think it's applicable for a lot of, especially small business owners nowadays. It's, you make changes and think you figured it out, and then 2 weeks later things change and you have to figure it out all over again.
Did like the corporate entity of Board and Brush, did they kind of help you guys through all of this, or like give you advice on how to like stay afloat and like deal with the pandemic, or was it a lot of like you having to figure it out yourself?
That's a great question. I would say it was a little bit of both.
Yeah.
So we, obviously being a part of a franchise is awesome because we just have their support and their backing, but and they did of course give different suggestions and things like that, but they also allow you to run it as your business, which is great. So and things that work in Heartland, Wisconsin, where we started, or studios down in Florida or New York, like everywhere in the country is at such a different place.
Right.
So some studios even still can't have in-person workshops, and so they're trying to continue to stay afloat with what they can do, and so they definitely gave suggestions, but it was ultimately up to us to figure out what's going to work in our market, and we're trying to do that day by day.
So how does it work being a franchise owner? Because you're the first person I've talked to here on the channel where it's the business that you own is a franchise. So how was that, like getting like everything from like the paperwork and like kind of a general understanding about how everything is supposed to run to where it's like it's personal but it's also still a part of the brand? Yeah,
I think it's like a blessing and a curse being a part of a franchise. It's a blessing in the sense that you're not completely on your own. You have someone that you go to for guidance, and it's also a curse because you have to stick to that brand standard, right? So there's some things where maybe we have someone local here in Vegas who wants us to do a custom design for them, but it's not really our brand standard. So we kind of have to adhere to those guidelines, but at the same time it's nice because they recognize that we're the business owners and we know Vegas better than they know Vegas, so they kind of let us have that flexibility. And honestly, I think as far as when it comes to paperwork and licensing and all that stuff, they really kind of leave that, because each jurisdiction even within Vegas is really different. So that's the fun part, you get to learn and figure all that stuff out by yourself.
Was it, why did you kind of decide to go with Board and Brush as the company that you decided to go with, instead of like starting your own like brand name, I guess you could say?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think at the time, well, first of all, I just love Board and Brush from a company perspective. They're very family oriented. When we went back for the first step of becoming a franchise owner, we went to Wisconsin for what's called Discovery Days. And that's where they just, give you a taste of what everything's about, what to expect and how, their company works and things like that. And we went for Discovery Days, and I think we just both fell in love more and more with the brand. I know, personally, you just have brands that you kind of feel a personal attachment to, right? Whether it's Target or Walmart, or Nike versus Adidas or whatever it is, something just feels right, and that's exactly how it was. We went to their corporate office and it just felt right. So I think that's probably why we went with Board and Brush. Plus, both myself and the other owner still have full-time day jobs. So being able to have a corporate entity to kind of lean on has been a big help. Because it's not easy doing it on your own. So even just being a franchise versus a completely, standalone company is definitely difficult.
But how does it work with you and your partner now? Do you still both have like full-time jobs, or? So how do you guys split the time and everything between the two locations?
I think it's just trying to find, like a lot of things in life, it's trying to find balance. Which is really hard because, especially me, I'm the type of person who always wants to give everything my all, right? Whether that's Board and Brush, whether that's my 9-to-5 day job, whether that's, working out, whatever it is, I want to give everything my heart and soul. So it's just really trying to find a balance in doing what's right for the business, what's right for our team here, but then also knowing that I still have an employer, you know, that I owe a responsibility to. So yeah, it's not easy, and I don't think that it's something that I'll ever have completely figured out, but it's a daily, you know, daily grind. So,
if you don't mind me asking, what is your 9-to-5 job?
Yeah, so I work for, my 9-to-5 is, I'm a director.
You did that so much. Sorry, you did that so much quicker.
So my 9-to-5, I work for a company called NRT Technology.
Okay.
And they're a payment and cash handling solution for specifically in the gaming space. We're based out of Toronto, but then have an office here as well. And we provide different technology solutions to gaming entities. So whether it's, you know, you go to a casino and you stick in like your little ticket to get your cash back out, or different things like that, ATMs, kiosks and stuff. Okay. So I am a director of sales for them, and they've got quite a few different products. And I think for my 9-to-5, it's the same in balancing, right? Being able to still, you know, give your all. I guess you can't give your all in so many different areas, but just having a company that's understandable or understanding of, you know, I'm a bit small business owner, and sometimes I'm here in the studio during the day, and I can still, you know, hop on my laptop and do different things. So yeah,
it just kind of goes to show too, you guys, like I feel like a lot of women especially, like they feel kind of either like, I can work, do I have time to start my business, maybe you have kids and stuff like that, but this just goes to show you guys, like if you plan things out and if you can stay on top of your game, like look at what you can accomplish. Like look at this, like she called this a small business, but this is, I'll show you guys in a second, but this is a huge studio. Like it's a big place. So it's just cool, especially because you're so young too, like you're able to do all of this. And guys, like follow Leslie also on Instagram. She is a beast. Like she talks about her workout. She literally looks like she can like lift like 20 men. Like it's ridiculous.
You're very kind.
No, it's like, I saw you on Instagram and I was like, I can lift 5 pounds. Like
no, honestly, I think for me working out is like for my mental health. I mean, of course for physical health too, but honestly it keeps me sane. Like I can tell if I haven't worked out in a long time, I just get a lot more anxious and I feel off balance, and like there's things, you know, that I'm not doing and whatever it is. So for me it's like that stress relief, which is good. And I also am training to be on Survivor.
Okay.
Just little, you know, selfless plug there. The CBS reality TV show, I totally want to be on it.
Whoa, okay. Good on you. Like I couldn't have. I'd be like the first person voted off. I'd be like, I'm tired.
And I'm done.
Exactly. How do you balance kind of all of this plus everything else? And then also like being in charge of like employees and like the hiring process, and how is that working for you?
Honestly, I think that it's again just that I don't think you ever, in my opinion, I don't think you ever completely have it figured out. Yeah. Because so much changes. I think the way that I run my team, and hopefully they will agree when they see this, is the same way that I would want to be managed, right? So always trying to make sure that they feel comfortable talking to me about whatever it is. Because I have a full-time job and try to have some semblance of a social life, I'm not always in the studio. And so just knowing that even when I'm not here, you know, they can call me, they can text me. Like if it's a Friday night and I'm out with friends, and I mean, unfortunately you have to take those phone calls and you step away and things like that. But I would never want my team to just feel, you know, not supported. And I think that's something we actually recently just lost. We used to have a manager over our Vegas studio, and unfortunately she got another job, and just due to circumstances, right, everyone's life situations change. But I think in losing her, it's allowed me a new opportunity to kind of reconnect more closely with my team. And look for different opportunities where they can feel more supported, set them up for success. And I think too, one thing I really want to continue to work towards is just explaining why we do what we do, right? I know as an employee, I always appreciated when my bosses or superiors would, you know, hey, instead of just go do that, and you're like, why in the heck am I doing this?
Right,
you know, go do that because this is why it makes sense. And then I think it's trying to get them to think like I'm thinking, right? So even if I'm not in the studio, they're kind of asking themselves, you know, what would Lesli do, so that they can handle situations the same way. Yeah.
Okay. So now that she's kind of like moved on into like her different area where she's going in life, how do you plan on like filling that position? What are you going to look for in the next person that you hire? Because I know it's different for every business and everything like that, so it's interesting to hear.
Yeah, no, I think one thing when it comes to hiring that both myself and the other owner have always stuck with, and this was from when we hired, I can remember the first time we interviewed somebody for Board and Brush, and we were like, oh my gosh, we're gonna like hire somebody for our business. It just felt completely different. I think you kind of look for the unteachables, I guess, right? I can teach somebody how to make a sign or how to cut a stencil or how to, you know, take inventory, all of those kind of checkbox tasks. I think the biggest things that we look for when we hire is the personality, right? Do you have integrity? Are you a people person? Are you somebody that is like-minded in the sense that, you know, kind of like just we were talking about, that's going to think similar to how I think, but also that's going to think differently, because I don't want to hire somebody that's going to have the exact same strengths as me, because then that's just another me, right? And we're not thinking outside the box. So I think looking for somebody who kind of can pick up in the areas where I might not be as strong is really important to give just a more rounded team.
Definitely.
Yeah,
that's so true, because I feel like a lot of the times people say that you never want to be the smartest person in the room, because you want the other people around you that you surround yourself with to really bring and add more value to you, and 100%. That's like a perfect example of it.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. I would even say that my employees have already, I mean, our employees teach us stuff all the time. We used to do a physical paper inventory sheet, and after our manager left and we kind of, you know, said, we want you guys, if you have ideas, you know, let us know and give us feedback and things like that. And she was like, well, what if we made the inventory sheet a Google sheet, like a Google form? I was like, you're genius. Like, why did I never would have thought of that? So
how is it with inventory? Because as you guys can see, like, you can only see one part of this whole studio, but this is like, there's like 4 walls covered in a lot of different things, right?
Yeah.
But so how do you keep on track of all the inventory, the materials and everything? Because it's paint, it dries, like.
It's true.
How does it work?
It's true. I think it's really just relying on our team. We have hundreds, you guys, of different projects that we all you know, some have handles and some have hooks and some have, you know, mason jars that come with flower boxes and things like that. So I think it's just trying to, I'm a big list person. So all about the checklist and just trying to make sure that we're staying on top of it and always having excess but not ordering too much. So it's kind of a balance that, again, I think like a lot of things, we are constantly learning of ordering and things like that, what, you know, we can afford, especially when budget's a little bit tighter due to a global pandemic, but also making sure that we have the supplies needed for all of our customers.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys, so we finished up our boards. If y'all want to see,
check it out.
There you go. Someone, this is going to be someone's, you know, get this for you. Halftime. There you go. Touchdown. Let's go Raiders. I just have like a few more questions for you, and we're gonna wrap it up because I know she has things to do today. But how has it been? Like, what are some of the biggest growing pains or things that you want people to know that maybe are looking into starting their own board and brush?
Yeah, absolutely. I honestly think the scariest and hardest thing is just to start. Right? I know for me personally, whether it's something to do with starting a business or auditioning for Survivor or whatever that is, you always get in your own head, right? About, oh, I can't do it because I don't have enough money and I don't have a marketing plan and I don't have the experience. We always make these excuses of all the reasons why it won't work.
Right.
But I think you learn as you go. So I think that would be my biggest advice, would just be to start. Because I promise you, as you know, a small business owner for the last 3 years, and as we continue on throughout, you know, whatever the market looks like in the future, it's always learning. Every single day. And you're never gonna, you almost learn more from when you fail versus when you succeed. So I think just jumping right in head first, that's scary. It's worth it.
Where do you see you taking the studio in the next couple, like 5-10 years, or just really anything down the line? Like, what do you see in terms of like scaling, expanding? What do you think?
Yeah, I think originally both myself and the other owner were thinking we would have like 3 to 4 different studios in Vegas. I don't know if that's necessarily the same game plan that we have now. I think the biggest thing that I would want to focus on in the coming years is just continuing to build and grow our team internally and make sure that we have a really healthy team environment. And then I think one thing I'm really focused on right now is looking for different collaborations with other local businesses.
Right.
Being a small business owner here in Vegas, I know my community is everything, right? So the more I can get involved, you know, doing different fundraisers or donating to charities or things like that, you know, although it's good marketing, right, and it's good for your business, it fills your bucket, you know, and you feel better about being connected. So we actually just this last weekend had our first ever collaboration workshop where people got to we teamed up with a local cookie decorator and people did cookie decorating and then a little board and brush project. So I think just looking for more connections to continue to get to know people in our area that, you know, because if we can grow their business, they grow our business, like it's good for everybody.
Definitely. That's actually really cool. I saw the cookies on your Instagram. I was like, okay, there we go.
It's a lot of fun. It's good stuff.
Yeah, this has been really cool. And you guys, like, we created art today. Like, it looks cool.
Not just an interview. Also
not just
art.
an interview. Yeah, because I wanted everyone to be able to see really what you could be potentially making when you guys come and visit. And the process, this was kind of more condensed down just because we are just like, we're filming, we're doing the interview, but there's a whole lot of things you can do. You can stain things, you can pick out your different projects, what you want to do, your different signs, so.
Yeah, for sure. Asia got off easy today. She didn't have to stain anything, or anything.
Got off easy today. But you guys definitely go ahead and check out Board and Brush. But Leslie, before we leave off, I just want to see where do you see yourself in the next 5, 10, and 20 years? I love to ask this question to people.
Oh gosh, goodness. You mean after or before I win Survivor? Just kidding.
Both, because we already know she's winning.
No, I think in the next like 5, 10, 20 years, I honestly, it's so funny because I used to live my life kind of with this plan in mind, right? And this vision of, okay, if I get married by this age and then I have kids by this age, and you know, you kind of check all the different boxes.
Right.
And I think especially over the course of the last year, I've learned that things don't go according to plan. Very rarely. So I would say I would like to see, you know, obviously our studios continue to be successful would be awesome. I think as long as I'm happy, that's really, I actually have a friend who I asked him one time, like, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? You know, and we're like in our mid-20s, whatever. What do you want to be when you grow up? And he said something that I've just never, or I don't think I'll ever forget. And he was like, I just want to be happy. Okay, well, that's such a simple answer, but so I think as long as I can look back, you know, every month, 6 months, year, 5 years, whatever it is, and just say, you know, I lived it to the fullest and I was happy, and that's all I can ask for.
I think that's the best answer. A lot better than my parents' answers. They're like on the beach somewhere, forget the kids, the grandkids. I was like, all right.
Well, I'd love to be on the beach for sure.
But that was, there you go.
Oh,
okay, there we go. But thank you so much, Leslie, for not only inviting me into your studio, but to speak here on the channel, because I really want you guys to be able to see people from all the walks of business, as I said. And for me, it's really inspiring to see people like my age really being able to do all of this, and especially like women. Like, I know that this is still a space where it's a little awkward sometimes, and I feel like, did you ever feel something like kind of weird with opening up Board and Brush, and it's kind of like it's wood, it's more like masculine?
Yeah, I think a little bit. I think that my career as a whole before Board and Brush was very much corporate oriented. And you're sitting in executive boardrooms, and you're easily the youngest and only girl, you know, sitting at this table with all these different, you know, directors and VPs and whatever it is, which is great and feels empowering to be able to kind of hold your own in that space. But I think it's different when it's your own thing. So and it surprises people. I mean, You know, we have women come in here and some of our projects, you know, you need a power drill or, you know, different things like that. And I ask women, have you ever used a power drill before? And they're like, no, I've never have. And so I'm like, okay, well, no better time like the present. We're going to get you one today. And I think just the confidence that they feel in themselves after doing something they didn't think they could do, like that's the most rewarding part for me. So, yeah, that's one thing I really love.
There you go. Ladies, gents, kids, everyone, make your way down to Board and Brush. We're going to be here waiting for you. You guys, so I just want to say thank you again, Leslie, for letting us create this, as well as just to sit down and talk with me, you know?
Absolutely.
Because this has just been a cool interview for me because we got to do some you know, some crafts and everything. But again, you guys, I will be leaving all of Leslie's information down in the description box below. So please, if you live in Vegas, if you're coming, stop by Board and Brush, have yourself a time. Throw back a few mimosas or whatever, just come by and have some fun.
Absolutely.
But with that, you guys, I want to say thank you so much again for joining us today. It means a lot to me that you guys are subscribing, that you guys are liking. So don't forget to subscribe if you want more videos like this, as well as to really smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really means a lot to me. So on that note, you guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next Money Monday segment. See you later, guys. Bye, guys. Mwah.
Yeah.